Tape Deck Media.
And here we are, a brand new episode of the Panel Picks podcast. I am your host, Dan Bublitz Jr., and with me, as always, is our other host, Jeremy Plum. How's it going, Jeremy?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, as I am every weekend.
Right? This is my favorite part about Sundays, getting together with you and recording these podcasts.
Yeah. I tried to wake up a little bit. I walked to my comic book store this morning. Did some Pokemon going on the way there, and got to read some good books right before we hit record.
Oh, nice. I know people listening to this podcast are going to be like, Dan, what are you doing? I did not read a ton this week because I've been going through my comics, actually. I'm selling a bunch of them.
Yep.
I've just decided I have too many, and I've been going through my comics to kind of downsize a little bit. So that's why I haven't really been reading this week, because I'm also going to there's a toy show coming up here where I live in Loveland called the Timber Dan Spring Toy Show, and I bought a table. I'm going to go out there, sell some comics. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of my Funko Pops and some other things, just some stuff that needs to be cleaned out, you know.
How much of that line behind you is going to go away?
Well, the line behind me, not so much, because those are most of the ones I'm keeping right there.
Yeah,
because those are my most of them are my Happy Gilmore up there, and so
really?
I'll keep those. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my Happy Gilmore and probably Shaun of the Dead, Ren and Stimpy. And,
I would keep those. Those things.
Yeah, few other ones, but a lot of the Funko Pops that I have are pretty random. Like, I don't have complete sets, and I don't know how it is for you as a collector, but for me, it's like, well, if I don't have the set, I just it bothers me.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
So I'm gonna be downsizing those a little bit. So yeah, if you're in Loveland or the surrounding areas, if you're in northern Colorado, March 30th, come see me at the Timber Dan Spring Toy Show. I'm gonna have lots of comics, and that's the other fun thing about it is, so I am getting rid of a bunch of my comics, but because I have mostly complete sets, mostly miniseries or whatever, or complete runs, that's how I'm selling them. I'm not going to do singles. I'm doing complete sets.
Nice.
Doing bundles, essentially.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's why I haven't been reading much.
That's fair.
I did go pick up my comics, so
that's good. I also picked up my comics because I wanted to make sure that I got my copy of Ultimate X-Men. So,
Yep, I picked it up.
Yeah,
I did. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I did pick it up. So
I sat this morning with Ultimate X-Men and Miss Marvel Mutant Menace #1, and I was like, I'm gonna read Miss Marvel. And I sat in the car and I finished Miss Marvel, and it's a great, for someone that doesn't read a lot of X-Men but has read a lot of Miss Marvel, in a period where the X-Men is rebooting itself to be back to living underground and hated by humans again. You know what? It does a good job of trying to catch you up with all that side stuff, but focuses on a real good Miss Marvel story.
Nice. So it gives you a little bit of insight into the X-Men, so they kind of tie into each other.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I actually really want. I do want Aman Vellani to write Deadpool, because I saw Deadpool's only in it for 2 pages, but her Deadpool voice is spot on. It's really fun and not too cringy and not disruptive. And it is the problem when you have an annoying character, which is Deadpool is supposed to be very annoying. It's if you do an annoying character wrong,
that's part of his charm.
Annoying. Yeah. But it's you do comedy with me. You know that in order to pretend to be annoying, there's a lot of nuance in it. You have to be likable and lovable and still funny, but also kind of annoying, or else the character flops. And that's the hard thing with Deadpool, is you have to do all of that. And in the 2 pages, Deadpool's annoying, sure, but he's also really funny and charming. So it was perfect.
That's awesome. That's good
Yeah.
to hear. Yeah. Well, and there's a lot happened this week, and then
Yeah.
this is pre-Oscar. We're recording pre-Oscars. They're
Yep.
tonight as we record, but it's kind of cool because there are a few comic book and toy related movies that are nominated for a bunch of some different awards. Barbie's got a couple different nominations.
Mm.
I think they've got an original song.
They got original song.
They
Have best picture.
Actress.
They don't have best director, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have best achievement in visual effects, which has Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yep.
And I'm going to see who's in that one. Who's in that category for a second, so I can see who
else is in there. Yeah.
Because here's the thing: am I going to say Guardians? Maybe, probably not. And
well, it's cool too because the Spider-Verse is nominated too for animated.
That one,
feature.
I hope. God, it was a beautiful. I love animation. This is a beautiful, just a beautiful use of animation. Only hindered by the animators being in crunch, by poor management. But besides that, it is a wonderfully beautiful film that I kind of hope wins. Or The Boy and the Heron. So
I need to watch that still.
Yeah,
the new Spider-Verse one.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh, I know. If anybody that's listening to this too knows I'm not a big mainstream comic book guy. Not really a fan of Spider-Man. But I went to that first Spider-Man, the Into the Spider-Verse movie, and with some friends just on a random whim.
Yeah.
They were just going, and I just tagged along, and it was one of the best comic book movies I had seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So I would argue I'm definitely going to watch across it, but
yeah. We are watching the animation landscape getting changed with Spider-Verse, and that's my favorite. Unfortunately, going back to Guardians 3, I'm praying that it loses. Because Godzilla -1 is in the same category for technical effects, and that movie was fantastic. It looked great, and its technical effects were amazing. And I hope that the $15 million movie beats out the $100 million movie.
I guess we'll find out tonight. We'll have to report back next week on who won what. Hopefully it would be cool to see some of these movies win. Mm-hmm. And it isn't impossible because Logan won an Oscar for I forget what category it was, but it was I think it was visual effects or sound design or something. It was one of the technical ones, but still really cool that it got nominated.
Yeah. Most genre films like horror or superhero films usually just win technicals and not normally best. But yes, it's still a win is a win. Suicide Squad won for best costume design. Being on Star Trek, the first Suicide Squad, not James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So take that one as you will.
Yeah, and then of course, as long as we're kind of talking about comic book related news, we'll talk about this stuff before we get into what's coming out this week. Of course, we had a tragedy over the week. The creator, I know you were very sad about this.
I am.
You and many people are sad about this. So rest in peace to Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Passed away this past week. Very sad for a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't get emotional with when big name passes. I think the closest I really got was when Robin Williams passed. And I haven't even read all of Dragon Ball. I've read some of the original Dragon Ball manga, and I got really into the anime, into the games, and to Chrono Trigger. Really into Chrono Trigger, and Dragon's Quest. I mean, mentioning just all of that, just cursory stuff. The man touched all of entertainment, and the impact of Goku, the impact of Dragon Ball Z on not just manga, not just comic books, which are the same thing, but on all of literature, all of media, can't be understated or even overstated. And then I'm rereading some of all Dragon Ball Z, and his facial expressions are dynamic. His breaking of the panels are fun, and his humor is great, albeit sometimes a little dated. I did read Dragon Ball, but beautiful work. Sad that he's gone, but his work is here, and as long as that work is here, you get to live on forever. I guess it's, what is it, Star Trek 2 that states, as long as we are remembered, we live forever. And given the influence of Toriyama's work, he is immortal in some ways. So
absolutely, yeah. So RIP. I personally, I never really got into Dragon Ball Z, but I can definitely, because I didn't really get into anime. There's some anime and stuff and manga that I've read and liked, but it just not for everybody.
That's fair.
But still, I can appreciate somebody's legacy and contribution to the medium, to the medium. So that's not the right word. I can't. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I'm having a stroke.
That's fair. He changed literature, just period. Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Change literature. His contribution to literature. How about that? There we go.
Yeah.
I can appreciate one's contribution to literature.
Yeah.
So, but this week, man, there's looks like some fun stuff coming out.
Before we get into the new comic books, there's actually one book I really want to talk about that is on a Kickstarter. And like I said, we are two comedians. We've been doing the comedy.
Are we though?
I just ran 45 minutes. I just ran
how'd it 45
go? Minutes set. Good. I inside baseball. So I work at a theater. I work at the Blackstone Theater. I am the artistic director. And so Nicole and I looked at each other and went, I have keys to this building. So why don't we open up the keys to the why don't we open the building at night? And I called my twin sat and we watched, and I ran that 45 minutes.
So you just ran it. You didn't even.
I did. It. This was before showtime. Like I said, I had to run it a couple of times, like two or three times. And the hardest thing, honestly, is, and I think you know this, set organization.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Getting the right structure of your set lists is key.
Because you can't get all killers all the time for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean you can if you're that good.
Sam Talent is like the only one I saw that got me like constantly high laughing every time for an hour and a half. But sometimes you need peaks and valleys in order to have trust and tension build up and whatnot. And holy crap, that was the hardest thing I've had to do. And then I performed it, and it was fantastic. And I think I looked at my notes twice. And I didn't even look at my notes. I just touched my book and went, I know where I am, and moved on.
Nice. Well, congratulations on doing your 45 minutes. That's a great feat. It's a great milestone in comedy.
It felt amazing. But more importantly, there was a comedian I met back in my old podcast days, Running the Light, Kristal Adams. And they have their own comic book publishing company, and they are kickstarting one of their books called Mutiny, Black Girl Magic #1. I have been kind of staring at this art for weeks, kind of waiting for the book to come out, and I'm putting money down on the Kickstarter soon. The way they describe it is if Star Wars meets The Wiz, and it looks like it looks like a dating coach with a big ass hammer. Just
Thor as a dating coach.
Yeah. Just like, it's so cool looking. Like I'll put a link to it. We'll put a link to it in the description.
There'll be a link
here.
in the show.
Yeah. And they're only asking for $9,000. 50% of it's already done.
Yeah, by one person. No.
And Kristal wanted me to point out, and I think is also correct. This is by a all Black femme team for the creative team of this book, and this would be a great way to celebrate Women's History Month. this is a really cool book, and all the alt covers look fantastic. I'm kind of looking for alt B, to be honest, and it looks like a great book. So give it a shout out and link in description.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely check that out. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about.
Let's get into new stuff. Yeah.
Let's get into new stuff. My pull list is looking a little light. However, I did find some stuff when I was looking through. There's a couple books that we'll talk about, but
yeah,
let's kick it off.
Can we start with the indies?
You want to start with indies? You're throwing me off.
There's two indies that look
big. I guess we can start with the indies.
I don't know if you have this on your radar yet, but
throwing me off here.
Okay. Let me quickly refind it. Yeah.
You dropped the ball, buddy.
I know.
You're like, can we start? And then,
okay. Helen of Wyndhorn, #1. That comes out this week. I have been waiting for this book by Black Horse Comic, just by Tom King, who I've been reading their work for a while now. I really love their work. And artist Brilkus Evely. I'm sorry I forgot that name incorrect. But they are the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow team. The art is beautiful and gorgeous. It's delicate but powerful. There's some beautiful line work, and Tom King is great at subversions and somewhat subtle themes. It is horror. This one looks more horror adjacent. Dark Horse.
It does look like it could be fun.
This is the book that's gonna get sold out. Telling you now, this is the book that's gonna get sold out, and put it on your pull list today. It is a good book. I already guarantee it. Top of my list.
All right, I'm gonna put it on my thing. I'm putting it on my pull list. If my comic book shop has it, if they have any copies, I'll check it out. I'm not gonna, if they don't, it's whatever, because I didn't already have it on my pull list. So that's the only bad part about, sometimes you run into that where, they just don't have it, or they run out. They only order what people order.
Yep.
Just and then you're like, oh, I missed that.
But I think in some cases you can make a special request and have it ship in.
Absolutely. Cool, absolutely. You just can't get it the week that it comes out.
Nope.
But not that it matters for me anyway, because I'm so far behind on reading, right?
Yeah.
But I plan to do some reading this week because
good.
Because there's some, like I said, there's some fun stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We've got you said there was another book that you were
I Heart Skull Crusher #1.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Here's the thing, I know I don't look it, but I do like sports. And I love goofy sports. And this it's by Boom Studios, and all I know is it's about this girl who wants to be the ultimate skull crusher in the sport called Skull Crusher. And that just sounds silly and dumb and right up my alley. And the art I've seen is bright and colorful and energetic. And I don't also have anything from Boom Comics in my pull list, so I think I should do that. So yeah, it looks really cool and pretty, and I'm down.
That's awesome. One of the books, because we're still talking about indie books. Indies. One that I saw when I was doing our research for this week was The Little Black Book. Looks really good. It's a crime book, so obviously that caught my attention. But it's it's the main character. Cole is a straight arrow handyman, ends up getting himself mixed in, with a crime syndicate along with his pregnant wife. They got to figure out the meaning of the Little Black Book is. It looks like a really fun story. The writer, Jeff McComsey, he did Grendel, Kentucky, which was a pretty fun series. Yeah. And I think,
you said Grendel, you mean like the monster from
No. Grendel, Kentucky, it's a place.
Oh, I was kind of hoping for
not like I don't know that
monster.
No, it was it's been a while since I read it because that came out a while ago, like a couple of years ago, but it was what was it? I feel like it was about like a mine or something.
Okay.
And there was obviously there was a supernatural element to it, but Grendel, Kentucky was the place where it was or whatever. But it was really good, and because it's artist Artists, Writers, and Artisans Inc. is the company, it's AWA, and I found they've been putting out some really good stuff lately. That's
Okay.
one of the indie companies that I've really been enjoying the stuff they've been putting out.
Okay. Nice. I'll have to check that out. Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything out like
I mean, the One Hand #2 is coming out.
Yep.
And which is an interesting comic experiment. So I'm kind of excited for that one. That one.
Did you pick up the Six Fingers?
I didn't pick up it was out.
Oh no.
It was out, so I need to kind of wait. Oh, I completely forgot that this is the week that John Carpenter's Toxic Commando comes out.
Ooh.
Yes, by Dark Horse.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'm gonna have to. I didn't even see that when I was doing research. This
Yeah,
week. I did not see that.
That one looks fun. Yeah,
Toxic Commando. I wonder, is that gonna be like? Is it based off the Toxic Avenger?
No. Toxic Commander is John Carpenter's movie. Yeah, it's no. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I forgot. I completely forgot. It's a video game. I double check. I just pulled up the old to double check it. John Carpenter's Toxic Commander is in a video game that's coming out this year. I thought it was a movie. Yeah, I also
no. Well, there is a movie. So there's a movie called Toxic Avenger. That's why.
Yeah, the old Trauma movie.
Yeah.
That's
why I was like,
I thought. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We're
I might
getting
check that one out too.
Video game and comic book crossover, I guess. With John Carpenter. I guess that's all I need. So
just a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
a little bit, and I'm always down for a little bit of just weird horror. So let's go. But yeah, I think for indies, honestly, unless there's something like really big that you go like, I really want this. Hey, Archie Comics double digest. That's also coming out this week. So, if you like Archie, it's there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we're talking about independents, I guess we're going to go reverse this week. Usually we go the big three and then indies. And then so we went indies. So now we got to talk about Image.
We do have to talk about Image. We do have to talk about it. So, okay, wait, is your big three DC, Marvel, Image?
Yeah, I would put Image in the big three.
Yeah,
Image,
okay.
Because while Image is more indie than Marvel DC with the amount of books that it puts out, I think I would put it in as a big three. I would put it in up there.
I threw it in my indies pile. That's why I said the One Hand. But another Image book that looks kind of fun is Napalm Lullaby.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at that.
Yeah, here's the thing. We're talking about cults. We're talking about superpowers. I might.
Did you get the cabinet? We talked about that.
Yes, I did. So I also have a backlog now because of you. But
I didn't get it, but I know you were talking about it because number 2 is coming out this week too.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm trying to read it this week. There's a few of the books that are on my backlog that are coming out this week that I was like, I haven't finished you yet, so let me quickly read this.
Right. Well, the one I did finish this week is I read Slow Burn. I finished that series.
Nice.
So
nice. Would you recommend it? Now, did it end well?
Yeah, it was a fun little story. I mean, I wouldn't like rush out and get it, but if it comes on a trade comes out.
Yeah. Would you call it a slow burn?
It was definitely a slow burn.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I need to know.
No, it was a good story. It was a good story.
Yeah,
it
doesn't mean bad. It's just, if you're in the mood for it, you're in the mood for it.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. I get that.
I mean, other than that, there's not a lot coming out for Image.
No, not really. Just Transformers #6. That's the one. Like and Transformers and that whole Enduring Energon universe has been killing it. Some new books have been announced coming out later, like Scarlet. Looks cool, honestly, as someone who's never been interested in either of those franchises. Going like, oh, this is kind of fun. This I think that is all that it needed to be, which was, oh, this is really cool and kind of fun. And I have no nostalgia for it, so yay.
That's awesome. There's some, so going into DC for this week, there are some, a bunch of number ones, some looks like some silly stuff, because you've got Batman, Dylan Dog, Batman and Robin, and Howard.
Wait, oh yeah, this is a lot of like weird crossovers, but also like, do you know who Dylan Dog is? Because I do not.
I don't.
I tried doing some research.
When I saw that, I was like, what is this?
It looks like a crossover with like another publisher, and I'm always down when they do that. And it looks like Howard is also that. Honestly, the big one for me is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been not picking it up, and I've been wanting to so badly. It's Speed Force.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just looks like it follows like the younger like members of the Flash family, like Kid Flash and whatnot, and it. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by a cover, but we buy comic books, so yeah, you do. And
exactly.
Every issue of that looks
comic
so
books are
beautiful.
Supposed to be judged by the cover.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
And I tell you what, they are, because there have been times where I because I always have my pull list, but I always look to see what else came out, and if a cover grabs me, that's what gets my attention.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, oh, this is really cool art on this cover, I will pick it up and then, proceed to look at it. And then, so it definitely is there to catch one's attention.
There's a whole decade of weird Superman covers and Jimmy Olsen covers that people like to, well, actually Jimmy Cole Olsen's later, but a lot of those weird Superman covers that make the round of like your comic book meme groups. Rumor has it, and I cannot verify it, but I like to believe it's true, is that, yes, those covers didn't have anything to do with the inside book. But the reason why those covers are weird is because DC at the time knew they couldn't compete with Jack Kirby's art in terms of visuals, so you might as well just go weird with it.
Yep.
And yeah, like basically the whole philosophy of judging comics by the cover. And because of that, I would argue that those Superman covers are way more endearing than they have ever been to this day.
That's great.
Yep.
That's a fun little tidbit.
Yeah.
And then also coming out this week, we mentioned it when we were talking about the Oscars, the Suicide Squad. There's a new Suicide Squad coming out.
That one looks really
Dream
cool.
Team.
I'm so interested in Dreamer. Dreamer appeared first in one of the CW shows, and then moved their way to comics, kind of a Harley Quinn situation. Interesting power set, interesting story with Dreamer. And out of all of the books and team books for her to be on, it being Suicide Squad is the most interesting. And team books to me live and die on, okay, who's on your actual team? So of course Harley Quinn is still on it. Cool. I mean, I love Harley Quinn, but it's like putting Wolverine on your X-Men team. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Although to be fair, Wolverine is one of the OGs.
Second runner, but yeah, second runner. But like that's cool.
He's been on the team for a while.
He's been on it for a minute. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is why I might be picking up the book. Dreamer, Bizarro, Clock King, Black Alice, and Dead.
Wait, the Clock King?
Clock King. Yes.
Oh no! Now I might have to.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite Batman villains.
He's there, and
I mean, just because, the character was unique and his silly little one-liners and
yeah. And here's the thing: Bizarro in a team book, that sounds fun. Deadeye, snooze, but Clock King and Bizarro, let's go. That sounds all right. Silly.
I know. Now I might have to check that out too. Dang it.
Now I will say something that might cool you off on that. It's Countdown to another event book in DC.
Of course it is, and they always are.
It's also
that's all they do is events.
It's also on the heels of another event book as they're selling the book. It's like on the heels of Beast Planet comes Countdown to Absolute Power, Suicide Squad, Dream Team. So,
oh god. Well, we'll see. We'll see now. Maybe that'll definitely cool me off. It's not coming out this week, but I did when I was doing some research. I saw comic book resources was reporting that Zatanna is going to get a black label.
Yeah, I saw that.
Too. That looks like it could be fun.
That looks fun. And to me, I don't know. Maybe I was picking up on it wrong. It had a Western vibe to it. And
well, I don't know. I just read a quick little tidbit about it. You know,
maybe they
I
just
just
gave
her being
Zatanna
in
a cool
Sin
hat.
City.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because it's in Sin City or whatever.
Sin City, yeah. And honestly, just give more heroes a cool hat. That's all I want. Give them all a hat. It'll be cool.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we better start.
We better
gearing down. We got to jump over to Marvel.
Marvel, yeah. One image thing before we move is Humble Bundle is releasing Spawn and Scorched bundle for $18. It has the first 3 volumes of Scorched, and all 27 volumes of the Spawn Origins collection, which will pretty much get you caught up. King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and for you like crime, Sam and Twitch, volume 1, 2, and 3, which focuses on the cops in Spawn's universe. I think that's a bit more interesting. Definitely pick it up. $18 for literally like over 30 like trade paperbacks. That's
a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a steal.
Yeah. Speaking of steal, you're probably gonna have to steal this next book, Ultimate Black Panther 2.
Yep. If you don't have it on your list.
Yep. That book is sold out already. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna lose 12,000 copies of that book as well. Yep.
Well, yeah, and there's looks like some fun number ones coming out, and zeros, because you got Black Widow and Hawkeye number 1.
Yeah, that looks
Blood Hunt
cool.
Diaries 0.
Yep. Did you hear how many books are in that Blood Hunt run? Like, that's another event book. 80.
Yeah, too many.
80 books.
Too many.
And some of them look cool. We have a Captain Britain zombie book. Like, that's going to be cool when it comes out. We have the Tomb of Dracula's coming back out. We have Wolfman coming back. But 80 books.
Yeah, that's too many. There's a new Ghost Rider coming out too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Vengeance
that
number 1.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pick up Ghost Rider. I'm kind of like, sometimes if the book looks good, I will pick it up. Because it is a character that I do enjoy.
Ghost Rider to me is, does he look cool right now? Does the art make him look cool? That's it. Yep. That is 100% it.
He's a flaming skull.
He's a flaming skull. Well, this one, I will admit, might be the coolest looking Ghost Rider to me, because it's based off the Marvel villain the Hood. You know the Hood. Everyone loves the Hood. He's a guy with a gun. He's so cool. He becomes the new Ghost Rider with a hood and a flaming metal skull. And I go, and the flames inside the hood. And I was like, yeah.
Okay, that looks, you're like that. This looks really cool.
That looks dumb. I'm in. Some guy's already getting that tattooed right now.
They probably are. Are. And then, did you see Symbiote Spiderman 2099?
Yeah, I did. I did.
You know, I love that they're still doing 2099. Here and there. You know, periodically they do the 2099, because I remember back in the early 90s when they did the 2099.
Yep. Yeah. Honestly, if you had to ask me what 90s Marvel creature was going to outlast each other, Venom or Spider-Man 2099, I'd probably say 2099, but we're getting 2 Venom books right now.
Yeah. You got the What If. And...
What if Wolverine got a Venom suit coming to a Funko Pop near you? And also we're getting Avengers Twilight number 4, which means that series is wrapping up, which means start maybe looking for the trade or putting that on your wish list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, if you want to get into comic books, but you're intimidated, obviously this is, we're trying to help you by
Yeah.
you know, having this podcast. But a good way to start reading comics without being so overwhelmed is to go into the trade paperback and graphic novel section. You can usually find, you know, stuff there. That way you don't have to, or, you know, if you're patient, you can, you know, if you see a series that you really want to get into, but you don't want to buy the single issues, you just wait till the run's done and then they'll put out a trade paperback.
Yep.
And then you can get it all at once. So that's something I've been thinking a lot about, where I'm like, you know, I would, you know, because I said earlier that I'm talking about selling a bunch of my comics. And I was thinking about this yesterday, that I was like, well, I bought these comics because I found them really cheap. Okay. This particular run of comics. And then I was like, you know, I don't know why I bought them. I have the the trade paperback. And it's like, do I really need to have the single issues and the trade paperback? So I'm probably going to sell them too. But because I have the trades for these two series. And I'm like, I don't know. It's the collector's dilemma.
I know. Well, speaking of like trades wrapping up, you know, like, here's the thing. Marvel Unlimited and DC Universe are the two big apps for those two comics. And what they do is, if the book is, I think, 6 months for DC, 3 months for Marvel, they're free.
Yeah.
You can read them for free.
Well, you have to pay for the subscriptions.
You pay for a subscription, but they're free with your subscription.
Yeah.
And if you do Comixology now just dumps everything on your Kindle. Don't ask anyone who's had Kindle for Comixology for more than 3 years, like me, because they're just going to complain. But
I can't do digital.
Yeah, I know you're not a digital, but if you're new to comics and you want the lowest stake option, and you already have Amazon Prime, just go through Comixology. They have a bunch of stuff. That's how I read Superior Spider-Man. That's how I got back into comics, was because of Comixology and Sonic the Hedgehog. So easy, simple, low stakes. And these books are coming to those apps really, really soon. Especially, awesome. I think #1 of Twilight is already out.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this edition of Panel Picks. Like always, if you have an indie book that you'd like us to check out or give a shout out to, hit us up on social media, Panel Picks Pod. You can send us an email, panelpixpodcast@gmail.com. All our contact info is always in the show notes. So yeah, you can find all my upcoming live appearances at dbubcomedy.com. You can follow me on all my social media is dbubcomedy right there. I always do that right there. Yeah. I always forget about that opposite. I'm like, right? No.
And right here is Plum Jeremy on all of my socials that are not X. Can't wait to hear from you guys soon. Tell me what you bought this week, and you know what? We'll retweet it and we'll tell you if we love it. We probably
absolutely will. And and that's a good point. You know, we talk about, you know, contacting us if you're an indie creator, but contact us with what you're excited about this week. We love to hear what you're getting, what you're reading, what you're most excited for. You know, we try to give we try to, you know, look for things that we're excited about, but also things that we think are going to be big hits, whether we read them or not. But since we're not always reading all this stuff, love to have some people report back.
I know one follower that listens to us. Hey, Brubaker's Muse, what are you reading? Are you excited for the Humble Bundle too?
I love that name.
Yeah, it's such a loaded name.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But if you know, you know.
You know.
Jeremy knows.
Keep that front at a distance. That's all I know.
All right. That's going to do it for this week. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us wherever you get your podcast, and tell a friend about the podcast. Help us grow. This is our 7th episode. We're still a new podcast. So give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review, tell your friends about it. Tell your comic book shop about us, say, hey, my friends run this really cool podcast that's about what's coming out in comic book news and things like that. And just help spread the word. We would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
And without further ado, support your local comic book shops.
See ya.
We'll see you next week.
This has been a Tape Deck Media production. Thank you for listening.